Hello, everybody. This is Michael E. Gordon, and I'm here to present non-destructive dodging and burning using a soft light adjustment layer in Adobe Photoshop CC. My version is 25.6.0, the latest available, but honestly, it doesn't matter which version you have. This procedure has been the same for quite some years. All right, about dodging and burning. Um, the first thing to discuss is that dodging and burning might be one of the last things that you do at the very end of all your layers in a stack. I'd recommend using dodging and burning for slight little touch-ups of things, like perhaps here it's a little too bright, maybe up here it's a little too dark. When I have heavier lifting in larger areas, I tend to want to do that with a curves adjustment layer rather than a dodging and burning tool. And you may ask, why would we not use the dodge and burn tools that are found over here in Adobe's tool palette? And the reason being is that the dodge and burn tools that are found there are destructive tools. Those attack the original pixels of the file. They do not do this on a separate discrete adjustment layer. So what we are going to do is build our own non-destructive adjustment layer for dodging and burning, which we can infinitely modify, turn on or off, or just delete altogether. Burn for now. And one other word of advice is if you think you're going to do a lot of dodging and burning, you might want to separate out the layers. You might want to, for instance, have all your dodging on one layer and have all your burning on another layer. Or even better yet, for more control, you may wish to confine all of your dodging and burning to zones of the image and make a distinct layer for each different zone. This way, when you go back to modify in the future, it becomes easier. And the reason why is because the painting of the dodge and burn soft light layer has a cumulative effect, which we'll see here in a moment. So it may be a little bit harder to undo those cumulative paint jobs over time. So perhaps a better way is to separate out all of these procedures. For now, I'm going to call it dodge and burn, and I'll do both operations on a single layer to demonstrate. If you want to see which layers your dodge and burn light layer more easily in the stack, you can name it whatever color you want. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter. What does matter is down here in mode. We want to make sure to choose soft light. We also want to make sure that we choose or select fill with soft light neutral color 50% gray. So we want to check that box. And when we say OK, it's going to launch a new layer over here. As we can see, it's filled it with orange, so it's easily identifiable. It's named what we named it, dodge and burn. And at this state, which is 50% gray, it has no action whatsoever on the background file. In order to make it happen, we need to use white to paint on the gray or black to paint on the gray. White will lighten, black will darken. And a word to the words dodge and burn. Dodging is lightening and burning is darkening. And these are terms that came from the traditional darkroom. When we allowed more light from the enlarger to hit the paper, a longer time we were actually burning, making the print more dense. When we allowed less light to reach the paper, we were lightening, making it less dense. So white is lightening and black is darkening. So I have a new dodge and burn layer going. I want to make sure my brush is active, which it is. I can use the bracket keys to change the brush size and both the opacity. And I also want to make sure my opacity and flow rates are set where I want them. I personally tend to leave flow at 100%, and I adjust the opacity to suit. That can be anywhere from 5 to 50 to 100%. It really just depends on the operation. So for now, we'll start with 10%. And I actually want to start with burning. The default patches are currently white on top, black behind. So I'll choose X to flip those around. I will now be painting with black, which means I'll be darkening at 10% opacity. And I'll just do this slowly and carefully. And when you first start doing it, you might have a hard time detecting where you even did this. And my recommendation is to turn that layer on and off. Whoops, wrong one. Is to turn that layer on and off so that you can more easily see the actions you've performed up to any given point. So there's my darkening in there. And I could keep going wherever I want here in the frame. But like I said, if I think I'm going to be doing a lot of this, I want to separate out these layers best I can. I'll go ahead and do some dodging now. Let's say I want to lighten this area across the bottom. So I want to flip these patches around. I'll do X again, which will put white on top. So I'll be painting white onto a gray background layer, which will lighten. I'll leave the opacity at 10%, and I'll just go ahead and start painting in there. And we can see some of those shadows starting to come out. All right, so if I turn this layer on and off, you can see I did some reorchestration of the light here with just some very basic brush work using a non-destructive soft light adjustment layer to dodge and burn inside Photoshop. If you have any questions about this procedure or have any comments for me, please feel free to send an email or leave your comments in the notes below. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.